I'd like to thank also Mona Duddy, who runs the older person stroke group, and Rita, who runs the younger person stroke group at Chest, Heart and Stroke. They've been an immense help in this project, so thank you. I'd also like to point out Kevin Murphy's role in all of this. Kevin, who's holding the clarinet there, who runs Voluntary Arts Ireland. His kind of expertise in how to harness the energies of volunteers and hold this thing together have been pretty important here. So thank you, Kevin. And one more round of thanks for the woman whose extraordinary energies have held this together, Sarah Murphy of Wall to Wall Music. Thank you. We're nearly at the end now. At the end, I'm going to introduce you to Orlando Goff, who composed 9 of these songs. I'm going to haul him down here on stage so you can put a face to a name. So Orlando, I hope you'll join us then. The last song is called The Salmon Fintan. It's Betty Brown's story. Betty, put your hand up over there. This is Betty's story. When we first met, Betty started doing these sort of gestures in the air. She started waving her arms, and I thought this must be some new kind of physio for people who've suffered a stroke, this movement of the arms for older people that somehow puts the shoulders into some kind of condition. But when I said, "What are you doing?" she said, "I'm actually rowing a boat." She had these memories of rowing a boat across a loch as a young girl when she was rowing the boat across the loch as her brothers dapped for salmon in the bows. Now, this is called The Salmon Fintan, this song. Fintan is the Gaelic for salmon, and there's a mythology attached to Fintan, who became a wise fish through eating 9 hazelnuts that dropped in a certain pool. I won't go into greater lengths about the myth, other than to say the notion of a wise fish who was exemplary began to see the core of this song. We call him kipper-coloured Fintan in the song, and anybody of you know about the life of the salmon. They come in out of the ocean, steely blue, and they want to head on upstream to spawn. But sometimes there's not enough water in the river or the stream for them to move, so they get holed up, and sometimes they can be holed up in a pool for as much as a few months before the spate comes and the rain comes, and off they go. They go with this determined, irresistible energy, slowly losing weight, not eating in fresh water. They're determined to get to the spawning grounds and do what has to be done for the next generation of Atlantic salmon. So this song takes the inspiration of kipper-coloured Fintan as its basis, and how, when you've suffered a stroke many years later, you can perhaps think back to what was inspiring about this fish.
Oh, mine is about Fintan and the I'm be rowing the boat, boy.
I think it's a good way in telling the stories. I love the fact that it's telling the stories from the community and giving them a voice. From people who aren't necessarily they're in the background of the community, and it's giving people a voice.
Oh my goodness, this is really giving people a shock that we are going to be remembered.
Spot the salmon fin of the heart attacks to come. The unjust strike of stroke in middle age, a life outrageously undone. Outrageously undone. Her brothers fish for kipper-coloured Fintan, who's waiting for the spade, becoming more exhausted, oblivious to his fate. Row, Betty, see how Betty rows. A young girl rides a boat across the loch. Row, Betty, row, row, row. Her brothers down Fintan in the bows. The arcing of her strokes foretells the physio to come. A lifetime ticks away upon the clock. The time will come when Betty strives to put two words together, to place one foot behind the next, strike out across the heather. Then she'll remember kipper-coloured Fintan driving on up with the rains, thrashing through the current, oblivious to the pain. Kipper-coloured Fintan driving on up with the rains, thrashing through the current, oblivious to the pain. Row, Betty, see how Betty rows. She loves to cheer the sight of building rods. Row, Betty, row, row, row. Fintan the fish is poised to go, to teach us all to live and live again. To live and live again against the odds. Live and live again. Live and live again. Live. 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 Live.
Here comes our composer.